Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. What do you think about when you hear the term AI? Is it the providers like ChatGPT, the gigantic data centers with GPUs running them, or the hoster for AI apps called Hugging Face? Whatever you might be thinking, I'm here to tell you they all cost huge amounts of money per year, just don't have user privacy, and are always filtered. But did you ever think to yourself, can I run ChatGPT locally? Yes, you can, and in this video, I'm going to tell you what you need to get started. A quick disclaimer before we start, I'm not promoting the usage of AI for explicit content or to cheat on exams. This video is for educational purposes only. With that out of the way, let's begin.
You're watching BZG TV.
For hardware, you will need a CPU with 4 cores or better. I recommend sticking to Intel or AMD Ryzen with this one. You will need a GPU with at least 2 to 6 GB or better in terms of VRAM, otherwise AI can't run. And another requirement is you will definitely need 16 GB of RAM. 32, however, is recommended. Now let's talk about storage. For storage, I recommend an NVMe drive with at least a capacity of 1 or 2 terabytes, as AI models tend to get rather big if you download multiple of them. A normal 2.5-inch SATA SSD will also work just fine, it doesn't just have to be an NVMe drive. For GPU, it does in fact have to at least be an AMD or an Nvidia card. Intel Arc is currently in development, and you can even run it on your ARM chip inside of your Mac. However, the performance may vary. This, my friends, is my AI PC. It has an AMD Ryzen 3600 with 32 GB of RAM and an 8 GB RTX 2080, or at least it used to be. I'm currently using this as my primary machine, due to the sake that I can save a little bit of energy, don't need as powerful hardware as I had available for AI, and I'm also currently learning Python, since I'm planning to work on a project throughout this year which requires that knowledge base. This, my friends, used to be my primary PC, up until switching recently. It has an RTX 3080 with 12 GB, 32 GB of DDR4 RAM, 2 NVMEs with 1 TB each, and is not only freaking heavy, but it also has RGB goodness and is water cooled. That out of the way, let's install. So now let's get to the install. So what we first want to do is we first of all want to open a web browser. Now this is in a Hyper-V VM, just so that I can show you the setup process again, since on my primary PC, which I've already mentioned, I have Python installed and I don't want to go through all the setup on my primary machine, so allow me to show you guys here. So the first thing we want to get is called Git. Now Git is basically, as the name already suggests, installer for GitHub pulling. So we're going to click on yes, and then we'll go to next for updates, then we'll go to next. If you want a good editor, I recommend using Visual Studio Code, but that's up to you. Next. Next again, this is fine. Next, next. And this is where we want to click on enable symbolic links, and then we click install. So we're gonna click on finish, then we'll go onto Google again, and then we are going to type the following thing into Google. In my case, I'm gonna type it, so it's called COMFYUI. Okay, so I'll have a link down in the video description. So here you can see we have the COMFYUI. Now this is going to be the key component of our server. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go up here to where it says code, and then we do the URL to clipboard. Basically we're ready. So we want to go into our Explorer, find where you want to create your AI folder, preferably on a secondary drive, and I'm just going to call it AI. Now once we enter the folder, go up here to the address bar and type cmd. This will bring you into the command prompt thing. Now here, you don't have to be scared, you can't really break anything from here as long as you basically follow this instruction. We want to type git clone and then the link. This is exactly how you want to type it. I'll have it down in the video description, don't worry, the commands are down below. Anyways, so we do that and then we press enter. Now it's going to clone it. As you can see, that's going rather fast. You'll see when we go to our folder, we have a COMFYUI folder. Now inside of this COMFYUI folder, there's a bunch of subfolders. The key folders in this case, which are important to you, are custom nodes. If you want to install mods for COMFYUI, there are several tools which might be handy. One of them we are going to install in a second here. And the other folder which is important is the models folder. You can see COMFYUI supports a bunch of stuff from clip mod things to audio encoders all the way to video encoding. It does it all, and it keeps on expanding over time. So always try to update your COMFYUI. If there is an update available, just delete the old install, save the models beforehand, and then do this process over. And let's go ahead now and install the custom node that I was talking about. COMFYUI Manager is basically a plugin which has a little more visual stuff. As you can see, you get a whole another menu where you can update all, restart, and things like that. This is the menu that we are going to get once we start up our COMFYUI installation later. You want to type cd COMFYUI, then a backward slash, and then you want to type the custom nodes, git clone, and then the link again. We're pretty much almost set and ready to go. There are a couple more things we need to do, but so now that this is here, leave this terminal window open. I'm just gonna minimize it. And this is where you want to check something. So allow me to quickly show you that on my main PC here. I noticed I messed up, so here's this whole part again. So what you want to check is what type of GPU you have. This will matter in a second due to me installing the packages. The support for the COMFYUI thing goes as follows. We have AMD support under Linux, experimental AMD support in Windows, Intel Arc is supported natively, which is surprising. Then we have, well, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is going to basically have native stuff as well, because those two are pretty well supported with the Windows community. AMD mainly is a Linux thing, so yeah, if you have an AMD card, then I guess. And essentially from here on out, if everything is set up correctly and you have this PC fully set up, as you can see, the endings of the files are Py files, standing for Python. This is where we will need a version of Python on the machine for this to basically be able to run. COMFYUI, at the point of filming this video, runs on 1.13. Modern day and age OSs are all 64-bit. Go ahead and download the installer. Then we want to double click on the exe file. From here, we have a few options. Don't hit install now right away. Make sure that this box is ticked. Make sure to install it with admin privileges. It's recommended. In here, every single thing is ticked. We'll have a link down below to this installer, so if the versions just change, so we're gonna hit on install now. We'll say yes, and then Python is now basically installing, and there we go. So this is an optional step. I'm gonna do that because why not? And then we'll go to close. We'll type the following command: Python -m venv. So it's venv. It's called virtual environment, just shorted. Then we'll press enter. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a virtual environment. Essentially, it's creating a virtual Python environment which can cache your packages. If we go into it, you will see we have some includes, some lib, we have scripts, we have a Python environment config. Yeah, essentially this is what the folder structure should look like. So once it looks like that, we now have to type venv /activate.bat, and then you want to head down to where it says installing. I might even have a link down below where you're automatically here. Then you want to scroll down. This is not required. We're not going to install that. We're going to do the manual install. If you have an AMD GPU, you will need Linux. I don't know why that is. They stopped supporting it on Windows. It was working on Windows for a brief period of time. Intel does work completely with Windows and Linux, so your Intel Arc can do the thing. Essentially, if you have any one of these other cards, just follow the steps. But just go ahead, find your GPU manufacturer and smash the command based on what you need to do and what you have inside of your PC. So we're gonna do it. Then I'll go to here, we'll do pip install torch. Now you will see that Python has a package manager. That is what pip is. It's the package manager for Python, which is right now basically downloading packages for us to be able to install. If it doesn't give you errors or doesn't throw any issues, then congratulations, you have now set up COMFYUI. But we are not done. We have to head to a website. Now I know what you guys might be thinking. Didn't you say that this is fully local? Well, it is. And we need a model though. Now, in terms of using models, I personally recommend Civet AI, as it's just one thing that essentially has good models and has a bunch of models for when you're looking for something. So a bunch of stuff. Just go wild, search through, see what you find. So yeah, I'm going to be using the checkpoint, which it already recommends me, which is Nova Anime XL. You have to create an account. Once you're logged in, you'll press download, and then the download will appear. Oh no, never mind, you don't even have to be logged in. Well, I guess then I can show you. So this will begin downloading. So now it has finished downloading. I'm going to show you where the file needs to go. So once you did that, you will need to go into your downloads folder. Then you can see here is a safe tensor file. Now, if you wonder what a safe tensors file is, it's essentially an AI model file. You can see it's very big. It has 6,000 something kilobytes, which is roughly 6.4 gigabytes. So we'll go ahead and copy the file. Then we'll go into the COMFYUI folder, models folder, and you always want to read what this model is. And this illustration model has to go, as it has XL in the name, essentially it will need to go inside of the checkpoints folder. So you want to copy that here. How do we now start COMFYUI? I'm going to show you Python main.py. Once you press enter, it will begin to start up. I'm only going to show this for like a small amount of time here because it's going to fail regardless because I don't have a CUDA GPU. The option to get it working on the network, basically to be able to access it over other devices, you will need to type after this, put a space, -- listen. Open ports in your firewall. Do you want to allow it? Yes. Then click on allow. And then once that is done, basically, you should have a UI which looks something like this. Is what you should be seeing once it's started up. And then here we have the address we need to go to. Go ahead and copy that address. Then we'll open a browser. Let me just quickly to go into that address for you guys so I can show you what it looks like. So by default, you will get a menu which is essentially like this, right? So how do we now get our workflow in here to generate images? In order to get your workflow, you want to press the X button up here and this will appear basically. And yeah, let's now go ahead and work with Nova Anime thing. So I'm going to select Nova Anime XL. Then you want to go back to the page. We will need to click on an image we like and we copy that. We go into here. We go into the clip encoder. We paste it inside of there. And this is the negative section. So this is all the stuff that we don't want, right? So how do we now say to it like, hey, I want, I don't know, a girl Neko whatever anime figure, right? How would you do that? Well, since we want some stuff and we want it to look amazing, you always put on Excel models, you always put what you want it to look like first, so that you can basically copy this first section. You can copy this, and then this is where we're gonna start. So we take this command, well, not command, this prompt rather, and now you can kind of see how AI defines. So I'm gonna be, let's say brown, long hair, black cat ears, black cat paws, black cat tail. This setting, I have to kind of explain that to you. This setting, the empty latent image, is the canvas. So you can set certain ways. In my case, I have it set to be a wallpaper. So to make a wallpaper with your AI model, some do support it, others don't. You can try to first render by 1024 by 1024. So the width 1024, the height 1024, and then just, you want to go into here, select Euler Ancestral. It's a good sampler. Then you want to take the CFG and you want to put that to 4.5, and the steps, keep them at 30. And then once that is done, then just click up here on run. And now it's going to begin to encode. You can see the process and everything. Right now it's loading the model. It's going through with my LoRa's, which is technically cheating because it's going to create a much better result most likely because I have these LoRa's in place. Though we could also disable them to kind of show what the model is actually capable of, because I have this in here to act like a advancement, since Excel models tend to not have much detail. Basically what a LoRa does essentially another time, or if you want to know just research, you can do your own research stuff as well. But you can see this picture as an example. Now we have, you know, our girl here. The AI followed the prompt. Of course, it doesn't look too great. Now you can also see if I go into my task manager here, the GPU is pegged at like how many percent whatevers, and that's how it should be. So that's all within the limits of it. And yeah, pretty much I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for 100 subscribers, man. Look, I can show you. But no, honestly, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the subscribers. Write a comment if you have something to say. I read them. And also leave a like. It helps the channel grow further. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.